But I mean, she used to even be scared that when she got up in the morning, that mummy and daddy would have gone away and that she'd be in the house on her own. That was one she told Daniel's mother. And that all the furniture and the carpets would all have gone. Like, I mean, you know, and I just told her that would never. I mean, it was ridiculous. And that if she was ever scared or worried, that she could just ring me during the day and I'd come and get her. Like, she knew all her numbers. She was so good at remembering numbers. She knew yours, she knew your nana's, she knew them all. But then in March last year, the school was doing a sponsored swim and the children were going to be swimming a length of the pool. And I promised that I'd go and watch her, but I was late out of work. And I was only going to be in time to see her coming out. But when I got there, there was an ambulance. But I just thought the pool's in the middle of the Central Remedial Clinic, so I just thought it was someone being dropped off. I didn't really think anything about it. But when I got inside, there was no one in the pool, and there was a teacher with a group of children, and she was crying and some of the children were crying. And then this other woman, one of the other mums, she came over and said that there'd been an accident and that Neve had hit her head on the side of the pool and she'd been in the water and they had been trying to resuscitate her. And I just said that she thought she'd be all right, but I just thought it can't be happening. It had to be someone else. And then I was taken into another room and Neve was lying on a table, like a table for table tennis, and there was an ambulance man and he was giving her the kiss of life. She was in her bathing suit. And the ambulance man said that he didn't know if what he was doing was working. He didn't know if she was alive. So he wrapped her in a blanket and took her out to the back of the ambulance. And I got in the back of the ambulance with them. And they rang on ahead. There was a machine in Beaumont that they were going to put her onto, and they were going to try and revive her there. But the ambulance man knew, I think. She wasn't breathing and he just knew. He said to me if I wanted to say goodbye to her in the ambulance in case I didn't get time to in the hospital. So I gave her a wee hug. She was freezing cold. And I told her Mummy loved her very much. And she just looked like she was asleep. But her lips had gone blue. And she was dead. I just couldn't believe it was happening. It all just happened so fast. I just didn't think it was real. At the funeral, I felt like I could just reach out and lift her out of the coffin, and that would be an end to all this. I don't have to tell you how hard it was. With me and Daniel as well. Daniel, I don't know if he blamed me. there was nothing I could do. But he just, he got really busy with his work and just, but I was different. I didn't know how to feel. I was just like walking around the place or just sitting about the house with Daniel's mother just fussing around. Just months of this. Not really talking about it even. But then, one morning, Daniel's gone to work and I was still in bed. I used to lie there for several hours just trying to stay asleep, I suppose. And the phone rang. It rang for a long time, but I was not going to get it, so I just left it. And eventually it stopped. Then it just dropping off again, and it started ringing again. And it rang for a long time. So I thought it must be Daniel trying to get me, or someone that knew I was there. So I went downstairs and answered the phone, and the line was really quiet. It was like a cross line. Like there were voices, but I couldn't quite hear them. And then I heard Neve say, she said, "Oh, Mummy," and I just, was like, "Yes." And she said, "Could I come and get her? Come and collect her?" She was scared. And I was like, "Where are you?" And she said she was at her nana's, and she thought she was in the bedroom, but Nana wasn't there, and she was scared. There was children in the wall knocking, and there was a man across the road, and he was looking up, and he was coming across the road, and "Could I come and get her?" And I just said, "Well, I could, of course I could." I just dropped the phone and I ran downstairs. I ran out to the car. I was just in the t-shirt that I slept in. I drove to Daniel's mother's house. I could hardly see. I was crying so much. And I knew she wouldn't be there. I knew she was gone. But just like, if she was out there and she needed me. Daniel's mother had to get the doctor and slept for a couple of days. But it was Daniel. He just thought that I just had to come to terms with Neve being gone. Again, I just thought he had to understand what had happened to me. He just thought if I got some treatment that everything would be okay. But what can help? What can help that?